Okay, guys, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Brooke Kennett, Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and we are talking a little bit tonight about organization and your business and kind of how to follow up maybe once you've got a customer and ambassador. And you might be wondering why I'm talking about that. And that's because I'm not going to be. That is not my strong suit. It is a weakness, and I know it, and I work on it every single day. But I know two strong I love you too. I know two strong, very red personalities that are really good at this. So what do we do in Plexus? Like you like work smarter, not harder, and you learn from other people, and we feed off their strengths. So hopefully they can kick me in the pants tonight and I can learn a thing or two. So I'm going to turn it over to who's starting. I was thinking it was Erin, but Angie's starting. You're both looking at me and I'm confused. Okay, one of you start. Angie Atkinson and Erin Koehn are both going to be sharing with us tonight a little bit about their story and then how we can be a little bit more organized. So take it away, ladies.
I can start now that my husband's done being creepy in the background. Sorry, guys. So I'm Angie Atkinson. I am a senior Ruby ambassador. And just a little bit about my background. I've been in the nutrition industry for about 7 years. And so when I heard Wesley start sharing about Plexus products, I was super duper skeptical. I listened, I watched for about 6 months. She was posting about gut health, all of these things that I knew to be true. And after following her story, I had to jump in and see what the goodness was about for myself. So some of my health improvements include much better energy. For those of you who don't know, I am just about 34 weeks pregnant with my third baby. And when I started Plexus, baby number 2, who just turned 3, was 8 months old. So I have been either nursing or pregnant my entire Plexus journey, which is awesome because these products are not only safe but beneficial during pregnancy. But a safe and natural way to boost my energy levels, get my sugar cravings that I had had my entire life under control, better sleep, less post-workout soreness. I was training for a half marathon. I love half marathons. I've only ever done one full marathon, and that was just a really bad idea. So for those of you who run 26 miles, I think you're nuts, but 13 is okay. So anyways, post-workout soreness better since I started on Plexus, and some weight loss as well. Obviously not during pregnancy, but when I was nursing my daughter and I first started Plexus, I lost about 15 pounds in 2 months on the products. I already exercised religiously and ate healthfully, but I still couldn't lose that extra. I couldn't lose that extra weight. I was always fighting sugar cravings. So even though I didn't really eat refined sugar, I had eliminated that from my diet. I would still lean on, trail mixes with like dried fruits and just way more carbs than I needed in general. And so Plexus helped me get those things under control. So no crazy like life altering story there, right? Because I started out healthy, but it really is because I was already on hundreds of dollars of nutrition supplements every single month. And I still fought sugar cravings. And so there were just some things that were not being addressed and handled with my blood sugar and my gut health that got sorted out once I started on Plexus products. A little bit about what the business has done for me and my family. And then I'll hop into follow up and kind of how I run my business. Hopefully give you guys some ideas. So when I started with Plexus, it's been 2 years and a few months ago. My husband had been laid off the oil rigs about 6 weeks before, and he had been up on the rigs for about 5 years. He was home 2 weeks, gone 2 weeks at a time. And we were quite used to that schedule. But when he got laid off, he went from a 6-figure income down to about a third of what he'd been making before. When he did find a new job, he was laid off for about 6 weeks, and then he found a new job, but the pay was about a third of 30% of what he'd been making before. As you know, when you have something like that happen, your mortgage payment, your vehicle payments, those things don't get cut. So we were just really, really between a rock and a hard place. We are not only am I a supplement snob, but I'm a food snob. And so we eat healthfully. Our grocery bill is our biggest expense every single month, more than our mortgage payment. and we did not want to cut that. So we actually listed our house on the market. And I had been in the nutrition world for 5 years. I had a client base built up, but honestly, was not making the kind of money I needed to supplement my husband's smaller income. So I needed to do something right away. I either needed to get a second job, or, it's hard when you are commission based and you have a client base. You can't just all of a sudden decide you want to work more hours. That's not exactly how it works in the business I'm in. So enter Plexus, right? I thought, like, if these products work for me and I feel changes, which I did really in my first month, then I was really excited about sharing products with others. I joined as much for the business as I did for the products, but I had to take that time to establish a little bit of a testimony for myself and get over my skepticism about supplements coming from a company that was an MLM company. So once I hopped in and started sharing, we were able to take our house off the market within 30 days because my first Plexus check paid for my products, getting my husband up on products, and we had a little bit left over to pay a couple bills. And then my second Plexus check was enough that it bridged the gap between what we needed in our current income to what we had for monthly expenses. So we didn't have to pull out of savings, which was the first month in 4 months that we hadn't had to pull out of savings. So it was a really, really cool moment. And then within 6 months, Plexus was making my mortgage payment. And now Plexus, our income every month with Plexus actually exceeds not only my income in the nutrition office where I work part-time, but it's exceeding my husband's income as well. So it's been a huge, huge blessing for us just and sharing the products with others and working on my own time. I don't have to go clock in for somebody else. I don't have to be, told what to do. I get to do things my way. I'm a red personality. It's my way or the highway anyways, but this is so cool because I really get to decide, what I'm going to focus on that day, how I'm going to organize and structure my business, how I'm going to lead my team. That was something that for me was really missing. I love nutrition. I love working with clients one-on-one, but I didn't have any leadership that was really going on at that time. And I really, really love leadership and the personal development that's come with this all as well. So anyways, that's a little bit about my story. I'm going to share with you kind of my follow-up methods. And hopefully Erin and I won't duplicate each other too much here because I think we do have a lot of similarities, but it's kind of trial and error finding what works. I know for the first few people that I signed up, I harassed them endlessly because I had nothing else to focus on other than reaching out to new people. So probably my first people I was checking in with like every 2 or 3 days and like, hey, how's it going taking your Plexus? Are you drinking your water? Are you, a million questions. I probably overwhelmed them. But a lot of them are still with me. So I must not have scared them too bad. But the system that I kind of fell into, I was really, really good at first with customer follow-up. I was not as good with wholesale ambassador follow-up. I think that was for 2 reasons. For one, I figured in a way if people were joining as an ambassador that they were like more on board somehow than a customer, which was a mistake on my part. I should not have assumed that. But also I have my ambassador page. So I was adding all of my ambassadors to that page. So they had a lot more access to information than some of my customers might. So I found out early on that you need to hold the hand of your wholesalers every bit as much as you hold the hand of your customers, whether they're retail, preferred. It doesn't matter. These people are all brand new. They've probably seen you post on Facebook, hopefully for a while, so that they kind of understand the products a little bit. But everybody is different and you want to be there for them and help them to be successful. So within, I would say 2 months, I learned like treat your wholesalers like your customers. And what I do for follow-up is we are in South Dakota, so sometimes it takes us a little bit longer to get our products. I tell people 3 to 5 business days or expect your products within a week because there's a lot of times that a weekend falls in there. I have had my Plexus delivered in 1 to 2 days before, but I would rather set people's expectations up for a week. And then if it comes early, they're just excited. So I tell people when they sign up, I do not give them instructions on how to take the products. I tell them, please check in with me when you get your products. Everybody's body's different. and I want to walk you through how to take these products best for you. We're going to be in really close contact with one another. So they're already expecting that I'm going to pester the heck out of them. I've set them up for that. Then I go into my planner, and I had somebody new join me today. Her name is Kim. I'm going to use Kim for an example. So I go into my planner and I write 1 week from today, which is next Tuesday, follow up with Kim. But then I also tell Kim that it's her responsibility to tell me when she gets her products. Not everybody will do that, you guys. So you do have to follow up with them. But most people are excited enough that if they get their products before the 1 week mark, they will tell you that they got their products. They'll message you and say, oh my gosh, I came home and my Plexus was on my doorstep. But the reason that I put that responsibility on them is because I want them to get used to early on reaching out to me if they're having problems or if they need suggestions, knowing that they can communicate with me. They don't have to wait to hear from me. So some people do right away. I have had people where I follow up at that 1 week mark and I say, hey, I wanted to check in. Has your Plexus arrived yet? Or do I need to make a phone call to see where it's at? And most of the time they will say, oh, I got it yesterday, or I just haven't checked the mailbox yet. It's probably there today, you know. So follow up with 1 week for that. Then I give them the information at that time on how to start their products. I have kind of a generic message that I send. I adjust things from person to person, but I do not have people start with the amount of product that is listed on the label of the supplements. I tell them that everybody's body's different. If something's not working for them, we have to make adjustments. And I usually check in with them within 48 hours of when they start their products. So if, say, Kim has her products next Tuesday, she says, yep, I got them, and she's going to start taking products Wednesday morning. I write again in my planner, follow up with Kim on Friday, because I know that she's going to have been taking her products for 2 days, and I got to check in with her. I got to make sure she's not having detox symptoms. I have to make sure she's drinking her water. I have to make sure that she's having bowel movements, all of those super, super important things in the beginning. If I check in with her Friday and things are going smoothly, pun intended, I will probably follow up with her in a week from that time. So usually a 48-hour follow-up, and then I check in with people weekly until, and this is key, until they tell me they're feeling better. So for some people, that's going to be weekly for like 3 months, right? For other people, that's going to be weekly for like 3 weeks, and they're going to be feeling better. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You're going to know these people, some of them, and you're going to know how much hand-holding they need. If you're checking in with them in 48 hours and they told you they were going to start and they still haven't started their product, you're going to be bugging that person every single day for a while. Telling them to set phone alarms, put their product by their coffee pot or their toothbrush or wherever they got to put it so they remember to take it. And if you follow up with somebody, you know, and they're feeling better, and you follow up with them in 2 weeks and they're still consistent with their products and feeling awesome, that's somebody that you can probably check in with once a month. When I move people out to that next follow-up mark, if I have been following up with them weekly and they tell me, you know what, I'm feeling better, I've lost 5 pounds, my sugar cravings feel better, I'm sleeping great, I will always acknowledge that. I'm like, I'm so happy for you that you're starting to feel changes. I've found that the longer that I take these products, the more I feel their health benefits, so they work best over time. I'm still going to keep checking in with you. I'm here if you have any problems or if you need anything, but I'll probably check in with you every other week. Or if I'm going to monthly, I'll say, I'll probably just check in with you once or twice a month and make sure that things are still going well. I tell them what to expect. And also another thing I'd add, when I'm following up with people, I try to avoid saying, how are things going? Or what's going on? Because you say that and they expect to feel better. So if after 48 hours you say, how are things going? They're like, well, I don't feel any changes. Okay, perfect. You shouldn't feel any changes. It's been 2 days. So be careful with your wording. When I follow up at 48 hours, I say, how is it going establishing a Plexus routine? You're asking them, are they taking their products, right? Or I'll say, are you going to the bathroom once per day? Are you drinking half your body weight in ounces of water per day? Ask very pointed and deliberate questions, not open-ended ones, so that people know that they need to respond and that you're there to help them, and it's important that they work with you. Usually I don't start saying, how are things going with your plexus, until I'm following up with them monthly. And then when I check in, I might say, how have things been going for you with your plexus? Where are you at with your goals? Any products that we can adjust? I'm here to help you, those kinds of things. That doesn't come until after they have told me that they're having improvements in some area. And then most of my people that have been with me for a long time, my preferred customers, my wholesale ambassadors that have those subscriptions set up, I am getting in touch with them usually once a month. If we have something big going on with specials, I might get in touch with them an extra time that month, just to share, hey, if you set up your subscription this month, we have a special going, or we're giving away this gift card if you have an order placed by this day or whatever, just to keep them in the loop on things. But in general, I'm following up once a month to make sure things are still going well. And if you've checked in with them multiple times and things are going well, you can say, if you're ever interested in sharing the products with others, or if you're interested in getting your products paid for, any of those things, that's an okay conversation to have with people too. If they're not, you love on them the same. But if you check in with them, and it's been 6 months and you haven't followed up and said something to that effect, you may be missing somebody who actually wants to share and just doesn't know how to get started, because they're feeling so much better and they want other people to feel better too. We know that Plexus products are good stuff. They have one of the best money guarantees out there. 60-day money back guarantee, no questions asked. It's amazing. But we have to get people to feel the change if they're going to be consistent. So the importance in follow-up is you have to be sure that they're feeling better. And if you don't hang in with them until they are feeling better, you are doing them a huge disservice. You definitely want to hold their hands. I have had people before that were honest with me. I had one gal that just started on ProBio and BioCleanse. We altered her doses a million different ways, and she just kept getting these headaches with auras despite drinking water, all these different things. And so for whatever reason, it was not working for her. It had been 2 months. I'd been troubleshooting with her. I told her, call and get your money back. We need to go a different route. And she did. She stuck with me. She called and got a refund on those 2 products. We ordered her Vital Biome and Mega X instead. And we're going to come at things by the gut health with Vital Biome and reducing her overall inflammation with Mega X. She's just started on those products. But if you are honest with people and, if they're not feeling better right away, don't treat them like they're broken or like they're doing something wrong. Be there to help hold their hand and help them troubleshoot. And I'll always make sure they're being consistent with their products. That's the number one reason the products don't work, is inconsistency. But if you know they're being consistent, you do have to ask those tough questions. Are they pooping? How's their water consumption? If they signed on to Plexus for weight loss, you have to ask them how their sugar consumption is if they're not losing weight. If they tell you, I've been on Plexus for 2 months and I haven't lost any weight at all, I do ask, the water, the poop, those sorts of things. But I ask, how's your sugar consumption? And if they tell me that their sugar consumption is still high, I ask, is it because you're craving sugar yet, or just because you're still eating sugar? Because those are 2 different things. If they're craving sugar, no matter what else they're telling you, their product's dosage is not optimal, because my sugar cravings went away within 2 months. So if they're still craving sugar, you need to fix their program. If they are not craving sugar and they're just eating sugar, that's when you have to have the conversation that Plexus is a tool. We by no means expect a perfect diet. For one, we don't even know what a perfect diet is, right? And how boring would that be to eat perfectly all the time? But the point is, they have to be willing to use these products as a tool to get themselves healthy. And that may include having to visit, are you moving your body, or are you sitting at a desk 24/7? Are you eating a ton of sugar, or are you trying to eat healthfully as much as possible? Those kinds of conversations do come about. But if you get stuck in a situation where you are not comfortable helping somebody, that's what your sponsor and your upline is for. So if they are saying, I feel no better, you know what? Pull your sponsor into that conversation. They'll get some third-party validation. They may or may not get some new ideas about what to do with the products. It might be everything you told them already, but at least they're going to have somebody else there, and that person's going to feel supported. Last but not least, I did want to just touch on what I do with my business builders or people who join and express within the first month that they're interested in sharing products with others. So follow up with my business builders. I try to check in with them once per week. I let them know that I'm posting on the team page and they're responsible for hopping on team calls, seeing what specials there are. I say, I have enough people interested in sharing the products with others. I cannot private message you every single special that goes on, but I will post all of it on the team page. So turn your notifications on. I will answer your messages within 24 hours always. So if you have any questions about how to sign somebody up or what you should be doing, please message me. It is your responsibility to reach out to me. And I tell them, bless Wesley's heart. Like when I started the business, I was bothering Wesley every single day for at least 90 days. And so I tell them that so that they don't feel like they're burdening me or like they're bothering me. I'm like, listen, no matter how much you bother me, I bothered my sponsor more. So it's okay. But ultimately, the people that want the business will take off with the business, but you still want to check in with them so that they feel supported. And once a week seems to be about perfect for that for me. I try to do monthly Zooms with my team, one-on-one if there's something like super silver incentive or something like that going on, so that they can really feel supported and we can set out a game plan for the contest that Plexus does. So that is a little bit about what I do for follow-up. Hopefully that was kind of helpful for you guys. I talked longer than I meant to, story of my life, but Erin's usually short and sweet, so we'll balance each other out.
Thanks so much, Angie. Brooke, did you want to say something? I saw you pop back on the screen there. Okay. Yeah, like she said, I'm not terrible. I'll talk a terrible long time, but Angie and I have a lot of similarities, a lot of differences. A little bit about my story, just real quick. She was a big supplement snob, super, grocery was the priority, all that stuff. I was kind of the opposite. Didn't care at all about supplements, anything like that. I was a very part-time medical assistant, so my knowledge of all that stuff was like, well, I see that the doctor prescribed this for this person with this diagnosis, so that must be what that's for. And so kind of got the impression that prescriptions took care of whatever you needed help with. That's just the way that it was. We lived on an extremely tight budget. I had $50 a week for groceries, max. That was not negotiable. That was the only flexible part of our budget. And so I literally bought the cheapest food that I could. Probably exactly the opposite of how Angie's family was eating. Absolute cheapest. So I hemmed and hawed around with joining. I saw that the Megan Griner, the girl that I joined, I trusted her. I trusted her judgment. I knew that she was a very even, stable person and that she didn't do stuff like this ever. She didn't jump on bandwagons. So if she was using it for her family, then that was good enough for me. I did, like I said, work in a medical clinic, a family practice. So I figured I probably ought to know a little bit because these people are going to be asking me questions like, what in the world did you get yourself into? And I wanted to have a few answers ready to defend myself, even though I kind of really didn't care. I was like, as long as it works, nothing else is working. I'm miserable. The prescriptions that my doctors had written me were not working. So I'm giving this a shot. I did not wait for a testimony because I needed the business every bit as much as I needed the products. So I asked my sponsor how I could make enough money to pay for my products. And I started sharing. I talked to the people closest to me. In fact, I shared before my products ever even got to my house. I started, I clicked join and then I clicked post, basically. So I just jumped right in with both feet because I knew I didn't need my own testimony. So I used Megan's and I used other people on our team at the time. I shared what they were doing and said, I can't wait for for my products to get here and to see these kinds of results, because this stuff is real and it's nice to people. So there's that. Of course, I ended up feeling better. My hormones are, 1,000% better. All that stuff in the business has turned into something that we never, ever, ever could have imagined. Like I said, my husband worked construction. I was a very part-time medical assistant, and we did not make very much money at all. And at this point, Plexus has helped us get to the point where we're 100% debt-free. My husband has since retired from his construction job and started his own business. Plexus has fully funded that. It has, like I said, paid all our debt off. We own our land free and clear, our home free and clear. And it's been mind-blowing what it's done for us. So, be encouraged if you're just joining, and, it's totally okay if you want to wait for your own testimony, but just know that you don't have to, because all these people here on this call, all the people that are on the team page, all have stories and testimonies and amazing things that Plexus has done for them that you can share in the meantime while you build your own. So, just be encouraged that way. So, my follow-up system is pretty much identical to Angie's. Everything that she was saying is spot on. So I won't really repeat a lot of what she said. I will say, though, that for my level 1 business builders, they are not in my planner. They are on index cards, just because I like to take notes. And I keep that there so that every time we talk, I can ask them about their goals and things like that. So that's just one thing that I would add that I do. So I'll talk a little bit about the other side of follow-up, that you can use your planner, like Angie and I do. This is what I use. You can use your planner. You can use, I know they have the index card system. Some people like to use Excel or different things on their computer. You can really use whatever method for keeping track of things and scheduling your follow-ups as you want. The most important part is actually sending the message. Having that discipline and carving out that time and making it a priority to actually make yourself send the message. So, because it really won't matter. Your index cards are useless to you. Your planner is useless to you. All this stuff is useless to you if you don't actually sit down and send the message and do that. Because these people have joined us. They have taken a massive leap of faith and joined you on this Plexus journey, and they're trusting you with this. It's a really big deal, and it's a big honor and a big responsibility that we have for these people. So we owe it to them to check on them, to walk this journey with them, and like Angie said, hold their hand a little bit if that's what they need. But we're the ones who are going to help them use the products to their fullest effect. We are the ones who are going to encourage them to drink that water and to find answers with them, to dig in with them, because we have the resources. And I kind of had to laugh because, like Angie said, she wasn't as took her a little bit to figure out about following up with wholesale ambassadors. I, for the life of me, could not figure out. It took me way longer than Angie to figure out, because, customers I got, yes, I was following up. That made sense in my mind. They're my customer. But when people join as ambassador, I felt like they were just like me. So they joined. They're all in. They're both feet digging in, doing this thing, committed, doing, for the long haul. And I couldn't have been more wrong. I was just like, what is wrong with you? Why can't you figure out how to go find your own answers? Why can't you figure out how to do all this stuff for yourself? And then I realized not everybody is like me. Not everybody jumped in and just dove in and wanted this for themselves like I did. So I had to really kind of pull back a little bit and take a look at it and say, okay, you know what? Ambassadors, customers, treat them all the same. And really, make sure that, that they're being taken care of, because they joined me, they trusted me, and that is my responsibility to follow up and take care of them. Yes, there's going to be some, they're the ones that actually has to put the products in their body. They have to mix up the pink drink and drink it. They have to take their ProBio 5 at night. They have to do that part of it. They have a measure of responsibility, but it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can for them, fighting for their health journey as much as I can on my end of things. So discipline, and I'm doing some things on my team page that really will help with keeping your business a little more organized, make it a little bit more of a natural part of your day, so that sending these follow-up messages is just second nature. It's just something that happens naturally during your day. And Angie gave some fabulous tips for what to be asking, really pointed questions. I love that, and it's brilliant. Brooke, I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add or anything you wanted maybe that I missed, anything else you wanted me to say?
No, you ladies covered it really well. Does anybody have any questions? And this is recorded, so this will be posted as soon as I upload it to YouTube. It'll be posted on our team page. But does anyone have any specific questions for Angie and Erin are by far way more organized than I am. I can laugh I just had to laugh when she said it took her a while to follow up with wholesale customers, because I think I called her myself on like day 7 and I was like, what is happening to my body? And she hadn't asked me a thing, but I was too stubborn to quit, which is a great thing, right? We're all happy about that, but it makes me laugh. So
thankfully, Brooke was one of those people who was taking enough initiative and deciding, like she said, stubborn, that she's just going to do it, because I was just assuming she was going to do it like I did. We can't assume that about everybody, but Brooke was smart enough.
I do love what Angie said too about putting a little bit of accountability and responsibility on them. I do tell them to check in with me often, that, I would rather you ask me a question every single day than not bug me at all. I think I asked Megan and Erin literally, like Angie said, like questions every day. And I'm pretty sure Megan probably wanted to punch me in the face because I asked the same questions all the time. But she very patiently answered my questions, and finally I figured out where to find my own answers. And that's okay, because that's what we're here for. So does anybody have anything for these ladies? And this is not, there is no perfect way. There's going to be a perfect way for you. Both of them kind of hint on, Emily Gibson has a really good YouTube video about like Angie said, she doesn't give instructions. So when you start, she follows up with them, 3 or 5 days later, whenever they get their products, and then you give them the instructions, and then check on them, a couple days later, and then 1 week from then 1 week, kind of that weekly for a while, which is kind of the basis of what Emily does too. So that's essentially what I do. I'm just not as organized as these reds. I'm trying.
Doing good, Brookie.
I'm better than I used to be. Thank God for that.
See, and I'm learning to fly by the seat of my pants a little bit more efficiently, because that is a skill as well.
Okay, I got skills then.
I'm learning to talk more than 2 minutes at a time, so I'm learning too.
See, I'm all sorts of talented. There we go. I'll stop beating myself up for what I'm not good at. Okay, guys, anybody have anything else? Any questions? Feel free to unmute yourself if you do. All right, well, we won't waste anybody else's time or go any further. Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Angie, for sharing with us tonight. I loved hearing your stories. I loved hearing your advice. It's one of those things that I think we can all learn from and do. If everybody got one thing out of this and, they can learn how to do something different in their business, then it's totally worth it. So thank you, ladies. This will be posted soon. And yeah, see y'all later.